Okay, so this is going to be a quick analysis of the human versus night elf matchup. It's going to basically show you how human can come back and utterly destroy a night elf player, and my thoughts on what a night elf player could do better. Um, Basically, my two lanes on my side are completely losing the entire game. It should have been impossible if everyone played correctly to come back. Unfortunately, I think the Night Elf player made a couple of mistakes. Well, I guess fortunately for us, but unfortunately for them, the Night Elf player made a few mistakes, and I kind of capitalized on all of them. So I think this is a pretty good replay to show. First, it shows you what not to do as a Night Elf, and second, it shows what you can do as human to win. So on third position, I think human is actually the strongest. Their biggest weakness is always gold. They need gold more than any other race to be competitive. Whereas the other races can kind of, they can get two gold mines, they can kind of do whatever they want. And I start with one sorceress. You'll see this a lot from me. It's my favorite human opening after just doing nothing. And if we won lane, I probably would do nothing. But because we lose position two, I will probably always build at least one unit just to force them to contest. So, well, I guess I still build a unit, even though we won. There was no reason for me to build that unit, but it's not bad. So we're a couple minutes in, and the night elf player is just saving gold. I'm pretty sure he has a timing, but with night elf, if you get an archer out, you can always get the archer gold back later at tier 3 by merging it with the hippogriff and selling it. So it's very difficult for me to understand why people don't always contest the center. I understand there's some logic behind not wanting your opponent to know who you are, but it's 25 gold for a scan, and losing middle is just worse. And there's no timing that gets ruined by getting an archer here, or a huntress here if you're going that route. So, big mistake I think by sniper is to not get out a huntress. I feel like this is just suboptimal play. And this kind of puts me ahead because I really need the gold and he really needs to shut me down. I don't know why they scanned here. That's another mistake. I guess they wanted to see if I was going castle or not. I don't know. And then there's a second scan. I guess because they wanted to see if I canceled my castle or not. Very, very strange play. I guess so. I really like to go Griffin Riders here. I don't know why he didn't build anything. I guess he was waiting to see what I was building to try to counter it. But I built the Griffin at the last second, so he just gave me middle for free. I don't know what he's expecting me to be building. He sold a castle, and he had enough time to react to either Siege Tank or Griffin Rider. And I guess he just didn't want to commit until he knew which was which, or he made a mistake. I'm leaning more towards he was just giving me more gold, which is very bad for him later on. It doesn't really affect his teammates as much as it affects me, so I like getting the free gold. This is a very strong early game build when you go double Druid of the Claws and a hero. Usually people like to get Panda against human because the Panda kind of destroys the tanks, and Night Elf doesn't have something as dominant as Panda in terms of AoE besides Mountain King. So you'll either see Mountain King or Panda here a lot. Or sorry, Night Elf doesn't even have Mountain King. You'll probably see Panda here a lot. Night Elf doesn't have ways to deal with Spellbreakers and tanks besides that. Had a brain slip over there. That's fine. This is probably very strong. He's getting the 3 talents from my Griffin. I think I sell my Griffin to get a third tank. I believe that's a mistake. I should have sold my Griffin, but I should have got 2 spell breakers instead. And it's okay. You don't know if he's going Mountain Giants, but the spell breakers are fine against Mountain Giants too. So small mistake by me, but it doesn't cost us the game. Yeah, he wins here. If I had spell breakers, he'd still win, but it would be a little bit harder since he couldn't use rejuvenation. But roar would still work. So now I just make spell breakers. I can see that he's committed to making units that require magic. Okay, let's look at this. 1 second. So I paused. I mean, really, at this point, it's kind of game over for him. He's still at tier 2. He doesn't have a single mountain giant. It's 7 minutes in. He's already lost the game from his team. Though, if he keeps building Talons for some reason, I don't have enough units for him to minus armor. So for Sniper, he lost the game at this point. He can't win this lane. He has to hope his teammates win. What he could have done is, instead of getting this Huntress and this Druid of the Talon, tech to tier 3, he might have lost this battle. I don't think he would have, just because of how well Toby was playing. But had he tech to tier 3 and gotten Mountain Giants, I probably would not be able to destroy him as easily. I still think it would be pretty even, but typically from here, you would have 1 less Druid of the Talon and 1 less Huntress. You'd have 2 Mountain Giants and a Chimera, and it's very difficult for the human player to deal with it. I'm not going to say it's winning outright, because human can polymorph the Chimera, so then you need to start building Dryads and abolish magic. But it's a lot more even, and then once you start getting 6 or 7 Mountain Giants, human really needs to have a level 5 Blood Mage. So if you can get to 7, 8 Mountain Giants before human has a level 5 Blood Mage, you as Night Elf will just win. But if you cannot, you just lose. And he's just wasting gold on what I consider dead value. This doesn't do anything to improve his army. And in my opinion, the game is over here. I know there's a lot of shit talking back and forth, because a lot of people think human versus Night Elf is very favored towards the Night Elf player. In truth, that's probably because we're always playing position 1 human versus Night Elf, where it's a lot harder for the human to come back. But this is just, in my opinion, a stomp. I will post the replay in the description. If you want to watch the full match, you can. The game's over at this point. I don't believe, even though all of my lanes are losing on our team, this 3rd lane is just winning too hard.